What's up everyone, welcome back to another What If video. Today we arrive at the penultimate part of What If Saiyans Were Good. And no, I'm not saying it's the second to last part because there would be a bad ending, I'm saying that because there are a lot of changes here. And you'll see what I mean as the video goes on. Dragon Ball Super in this scenario definitely is going to be unrecognizable. We briefly touched upon Battle of the Gods in the last part, and now we'll be covering the consequences of that. What follows it? For this video, let's hit a like goal of 3,000 likes, and once we hit that, I'll continue with the final part of the scenario. Anyways, let's pick up from here. Just as I mentioned last time, Shallot, Giblet, and Vegeta train together, getting much stronger under the guidance of Whis and Beerus. And yes, Shallot and Giblet basically act as Beerus' personal chefs, while Vegeta's stuck doing all the chores there. Looks like they did kinda luck out after all. Damn, Vegeta might need to bring out his chef skills as well. While Vegeta's skill doesn't compare to them in terms of cooking, they are all around a similar level in terms of power. Of course they all have Super Saiyan God, and recently they're able to get above that with Super Saiyan Blue. Beerus is very happy right now. He has 3 students who may be good rivals, and he has 3 good chefs. Well, 2 good ones, and then 1 kinda mediocre chef. But lurking about, there exists a covert threat. One seeking to gain something from Universe 7. Frieza's army is flying through space, preparing their attack on Earth so they can get the Dragon Balls and revive Frieza and King Cold. After all their research, they figured out that the Saiyans were the ones responsible for their deaths, and it seems some or all of them live on Earth. All they need are the Dragon Balls and they're golden, no pun intended. But as the ships head to Earth, they notice something. Someone floating out in space. What, was this someone that they threw overboard? As the ship nears closer, they see a purple cat and a blue woman. The cat guy grins, as the woman opens a hole in the ship. Some Frieza soldiers are sucked out of the hole, as Vados closes it up and Champa enters the ship. They hold him at gunpoint, but he easily kills all the Frieza soldiers, as some of the higher-ups in the army prepare to encounter him. He introduces himself as Lord Champa from Universe 6, and he noticed the ship was heading in a direction that seemed like it was going towards Earth. And Champa asks about that. He was right, their target was Earth. That's not gonna fly. The ship suddenly explodes. No way is Champa letting someone attack Earth. Right now he's seeking the Super Dragon Balls for himself. He's gonna bring Earth to Universe 6. According to Vados, it seems Beerus is very busy at the moment. He's enjoying all the tasty foods from Earth, and Whis has 3 students to train. All they need to do is remain under the radar, and once they get Earth, they're solid. Luckily for Champa, he's able to get the Super Dragon Balls without encountering Beerus. He teleports Earth to Universe 6, with Vegeta, Shallot, and Giblet temporarily unaware. As for the heroes that stayed on Earth, of course they notice. News breaks across the globe. The sun has suddenly disappeared, replaced with a new star. The planets in the solar system are all different. Certain unmanned satellites are missing, and astronomers can't see the same planets and stars that they've seen before. What is this anomaly? Have they been sucked into a wormhole? No one is sure. Goku tries to sense Beerus' ki, or anyone on his planet. He can't sense anything. Same for all of the other Saiyans. This doesn't look good. Back in Universe 7, Whis points this out. Earth is somehow just missing, and the 3 Saiyans panic, assuming someone blew it up. But that's impossible. Everyone on Earth must have been strong enough to defend it. And they would have noticed. They would have felt at least some spike in ki towards the planet, but they didn't. Whis checks his staff, and he's able to find the issue. Beerus immediately loses it, with the 3 Saiyans curious to figure out what happened. Angrily, Beerus says one word, screaming out the name Champa. He tells Whis to bring the 4 of them to Universe 6. He needs to talk to his brother. Whis reminds Beerus to calm down. A dispute between gods of destruction could be disastrous. It is in their title after all, plus an explosive feud like this could get Zeno involved, and they do not want that. Beerus slowly begins to simmer down, but the 3 Saiyans are pretty angry as well. With Whis being the only one to keep his cool, he brings them all to Universe 6. The first words exchanged are from Whis to Vados, telling her they've made Lord Beerus quite upset, and she and Champa soon see for themselves, as an angered Beerus, surrounded by fiery purple ki, storms into Champa's planet. What we just set in motion is a new arc. I guess a fitting name would be the Planetary Theft Arc, or we could just call it the Champa arc. Champa gloats to Beerus. There's nothing he could do. For one, even if he could take back Earth somehow, he'd have to wait a year for the Super Dragon Balls to reactivate. And of course, once that does happen, Champa's gonna be the one to collect them once more, making sure Beerus can't get them. 2, it's not like Beerus can fight Champa. Like Whis mentioned before, they don't want to get Zeno involved. And 2 gods of destruction fighting may damage the entire universe. And 3, Earth is basically Champa's hostage. Sure, he's not gonna destroy it, but he knows Beerus has some people on that planet that he values. Champa could easily go there and destroy them if Beerus tries to meddle with his plans. And even if he did want to tell Zeno and try and get him involved to mediate, they're not going to do that because they don't want to anger him somehow. The 3 Saiyans are furious, and they promise to hunt for the Super Dragon Balls once a year has passed. they're probably more angry than Beerus is. Think about it, Vegeta's family is there, all their friends are there. This is not something they take lightly. Vegeta keeps himself under control, trying not to lash out and attack Champa because he knows that would be a bad idea. Champa of course notices this and even teases him. Look at that, this mortal thinks he could do something about it. It seems Universe 7 Saiyans are very ill-tempered. Beerus and Whis take the 3 Saiyans to Earth to see everyone and tell them what's happened. By now, they already realized something's happened with Earth, but they didn't know exactly what. Bulma tried contacting Jaco, but she couldn't. And with the change of scenery, they theorized that Earth might have been teleported to a new universe, and it turns out that was right. But they didn't believe that because they didn't know why or how that would happen. Until they're filled in and they realize the theory is true. The fighters on Earth ask Beerus to take them back. They'll train with him for the time being and try to help, but then Champa and Vados intervene. If these people try to leave, he'll erase them. They're under his rule now. He wouldn't want any rebellious mortals after all. It's not like he cares about killing them anyways. There's always more Saiyans out in Universe 6 that he could find. He really only cares about the humans and Earth as a whole. Luckily for Beerus, Shallot, Giblet, and Vegeta get to remain in Universe 7. Although Vegeta kinda does want to go to Earth, he realizes that he must stick with Beerus and train with him. Right now, he's motivated to get stronger and defeat Champa, as well as Shallot and Giblet. Beerus can't do anything, but they could still overthrow him as a proxy. They promise everyone on Earth that they'll fix this. And luckily, Champa's not going to kill them for no reason. They just gotta buy their time for now, and they should be safe. Everyone says goodbye to the 3 Saiyans as they return to Universe 7 with Beerus and Whis, while the Dragon team that remain on Earth begins training. The Saiyans decide it's wise for all of them to get Super Saiyan God, so they perform the ritual on each other. But even with this, it's not like they can progress as well as Vegeta, Shallot, and Giblet can on Beerus' planet. Their training on Earth won't be as efficient, but it's still something. They all tried thinking of some plan. There has to be a way for them to somehow please Champa and get back to Universe 7. But Piccolo's able to come up with an idea. He consults Kami and wants to figure out, could the Dragon Balls possibly restore a planet in this universe? One that is long gone. Unfortunately, this may be out of Shenron's power. From what they do know, Earth used to exist in Universe 6, but they know nothing of it, so they can't really do anything about it. But Kami begins thinking, and then remembers. By now, I'm sure that both of them would know that they're Namekians. With all the Saiyans there, and their knowledge of space, Vegeta, Tarble, or someone else may have told them already. That is how they found out about Namek in the first place after all. So nothing's different here. They've known that ever since Piccolo went with the Saiyans in the first part. And Kami suggests, an Earth existed in Universe 6 as well as Universe 7, so maybe there's also a Namek in Universe 6 just like Universe 7. And if that's true, there's a chance that Dragon Balls could exist on that planet, seeing as that's where Kami came from. It is a long shot though. They don't even know if the Dragon Balls exist on Namek in Universe 7, and here, that's even further of a long shot. But it's worth a try. Piccolo goes back to the group and tells them they need to find Namek somehow. But they have no knowledge of this universe, much less where Namek would be. But Goku, being his carefree self, decides they should maybe consult Champa. He does occasionally visit Earth after all, trying to get some new food. So during one of those days, Goku goes up to him. Champa expects some sort of fight or rebellion, but Goku's not here for that. He asks, does Namek exist in this universe? It turns out it does. And Goku asks if he can get a ride there, or at least directions. Alright, Champa's gotta ask, what is he planning? Well, he tells Champa that smaller Dragon Balls exist on Earth, much like the Super Dragon Balls, and they're made by Namekians. So, theoretically, there may be Dragon Balls on this universe's Namek. The reason he's asking is because with those, they could restore Earth in this universe. And then this Earth can return home. Champa sits there speechless. This mortal just made him look kinda stupid. But he is right. They could have just checked Namek. I mean, Champa does already know that Namekians created the Super Dragon Balls, so maybe regular Dragon Balls exist on Namek. You know, that would have been easier and less intrusive if he just did that. But he comes up with some lame excuse to blow it off, acting like this is something he wouldn't realize before. But, as requested, he and Vados take Goku and Piccolo to Namek, Universe 6's Namek. And luckily, it does have Dragon Balls. The Namekians are very generous and they do know of Champa, so they're not going to screw around and they give him the Dragon Balls. I feel like the dragon on this planet would be as strong as Porunga is in the Buu Saga. From what little we know about Namek in Universe 6, they do seem powerful, so this is likely. The dragon is able to wish back Earth, and they want to revive everyone on that planet, but he's not strong enough to do that since they've been dead for over a year. Champa's a little angered, that's his shame. But then Piccolo asks, why not start new life there? And this is in the dragon's power. Instead of restoring people that died before, he creates completely new species and people there. Although they are going to take some time to develop. The dragon tells them of this. But they still have one more wish, asking the dragon to grant the humans with knowledge. So while they still do have to build civilizations, they at least have the knowledge that they need for it. Meaning, Champa's gonna get his food faster. Wow, that was actually pretty simple. Champa's really surprised he didn't think of this before, and with the help of some Kais and Vados, they're able to help get Earth a jump start. And that would most likely mean Universe 6's Earth worships these gods, having full knowledge of the Kais, Vados, and Champa. He's pleased and thanks Goku and Piccolo, as well as all the others, but doesn't admit that he was wrong. Word eventually does get to Universe 7, and the three Saiyans guess that means they don't really have to train to kill Champa. What a relief, because that would have been pretty hard. They have gotten noticeably stronger though, and admittedly, they did kinda want to fight Champa, despite the difficulty. More months pass and the Super Dragon Balls are restored. Beerus gathers them, and Earth is returned to Universe 7, with Shallot, Giblet, and Vegeta much stronger than anyone else. There's a few Super Saiyan gods on Earth, but no Super Saiyan Blues. These three are much farther ahead. This was all dealt with peacefully. And it's great because Zeno doesn't know about it, right? Well, not really. Zeno is smarter than he lets on, and he has been paying attention. This isn't really something that would go under his radar, even if they try to keep it that way. He's been paying attention, and honestly, he's impressed. The gods messed around a bit, but the mortals were able to help fix it in smart ways. Plus, they're all getting very strong. And you know what? He decides he's gonna hold off on erasing the universes. If mortals are able to act like this, then there is hope. But if anything, he may be a little angered at the gods. It may be time for a reform, to get them to stop being so bad at their job. With all this happening, that means we skip the Universe 6 tournament, the Tournament of Power, and even though we did keep Trunks' timeline normal in this scenario, for the sake of keeping Trunks safe, we're going to assume that the other timelines didn't have a conflict that caused Zamasu to turn evil. And we'll say they were actually affected by this. No Universe 6 tournament, no Goku Black, meaning no evil future Zamasu. And present Zamasu for that matter. Not to mention, with how powerful everyone is, that arc honestly would have been a little bit redundant. We know they'd win, but luckily for Trunks, that doesn't happen, so he, future Bulma, and Mai get to stay happy with their Earth in peace, blissfully unaware of what's happening in the other timeline. And although everything seems good now, an issue will arise soon. As I mentioned, a godly reform is coming, and we'll see that in the next part, but alongside that, a new foe is about to appear. A little bit more time passes. And by now, Zeno would have already started cracking down on all the gods. Beerus is taking his job much more seriously, so is Shin, paying attention to everything in the universe, but making sure not to get involved unless they need to. If they're not neutral, they may anger Zeno, so they're wary of that, although they still are allowed to train some of the mortals. Vegeta didn't really want to be away from his family for so long, so he's permanently back on Earth, as well as all the others. But Shallot and Giblet remain on Beerus' planet, still training to grow stronger. Everyone on Earth is training too. It's not like they're slacking off. But as Beerus is monitoring the universe, he realizes something. There's some sort of commotion with the Galactic Patrol, and Whis is keen to pick up on this as well. Of course, he doesn't reveal it at the moment, but his brother is part of the Galactic Patrol, and Beerus knows too. Beerus is undercover, and this is how word gets to them. It seems an ancient and powerful prisoner has escaped. They're not sure what his goal is, but they know he's destructive. On his staff, Whis brings up a picture, a profile of the escaped prisoner. Displayed on the staff, the Twin C, a menacing looking man with the features of a goat, the wicked villain that's escaped prison. His name is Moro. As the finale of this What If, in the next part, we'll be discussing the Moro arc alongside with the gods. Not to mention, we'll be covering a bit of everyone's lives on Earth in the next part. Think of it as an update of sorts. I mean, I did make Broly a ranger on Monster Island for a reason, so you can look forward to that as well. And with this, we'll leave off here for now. So what do you guys think will happen in the next part? We'll be covering the Godly Reform, as well as the Moro arc, which will be very different in this scenario. And just as a little side note, I'm actually going to wait for the Moro arc to finish before doing this part of the What If. I want to make this finale as good as it could possibly be, and I want to get all the info about Moro that we can. Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out and see what you guys think. As always, if you like the video, be sure to drop a like, and let's try to hit that like goal so we can get another part. If you haven't already, why not subscribe, as well as hitting the bell icon and get notified about any future parts of this What If, or any other videos that I upload on my channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.